What's up, fantasy champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network.
Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that O-line. Car insurance cost the arm and the leg to reach that goal line. It's go time.
Hey, y'all hear me? Mic check.
Yep.
All right, so welcome to another show, y'all. Another week 3 preview. We have the Miami Dolphins coming into the Death Star on Sunday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be like 1 o'clock y'all time on the on your end, and we're excited for it. And we have a special guest, y'all. We have a very, very special guest. I've been following this guy. I met him through Fan Affair Network, and he has a dope channel. And Mr. himself, Miami Dolphins YouTuber, Douglie Do Wrong. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
Good, man.
How you feeling about this upcoming week, man? Are you confident? What's going on?
I don't know anymore. I don't know. If you asked me after week 1, yeah, I was confident. But then after last week and then Tua's injury and all that stuff, I'm like, oh.
Okay, so we're going to definitely talk about the Dolphins, of course, knowing that you come off a real horrendous loss against the Buffalo Bills. How could you sit through that, man?
I actually kept my stream up until the middle of the fourth quarter. And I was at some point you just gotta laugh about it. The bright spot though was the defense, because the Bills scored 2 quick touchdowns their first 2 series, and then the Dolphins shut the Bills down for a quarter and a half. You know, it was a lot of 3 and outs, a lot of punts, fumble, interception. And then the second half started, and the Dolphins defense was like, "Listen, if your offense ain't gonna score anything, we're tired, we're done." And then they allowed 3 more touchdowns.
So for the people who don't know, you can let them know who you are, where they can find you, and everything of that nature. Because that's how we met. We met through Fan Affair Network, and I was like, okay, Miami Dolphins, I already know who to go to, and that was Douglie Do Wrong. I didn't have to research. I already knew who you was, and we was able to get this. So for the people that's I know there's a lot of Raider Nation in here, but if you do have some people in here, for the people that don't know, let them know where they can find you at and everything.
Yeah. YouTube.com/Douglie Do Wrong. You can also find me at Twitter at Douglie Do Wrong. I got my podcast up, Douglie Do Wrong Podcast. That's for people that want to listen to the episodes on YouTube but are in the car or something. I'm also going to do some special stuff over there. Everything and anything Dolphins year round. I never take a break, which maybe I should at some point.
I know how it is. I just did 2 shows on a different YouTube channel, and now I'm back here doing this one. So I completely understand. So Tua is out, and you got to go with Jacoby Brissett. So yeah. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but
not at all. And
but how confident you are going to this game with him at the helm?
I'm kind of the same, if that makes any sense, because last year when there was the thoughts of Fitz not coming back, I kind of wanted the Dolphins to bring in Jacoby as a backup. And even this year in free agency, I thought Jacoby would be a really good backup. Jacoby Brissett's the type of quarterback that's he's gonna win you, a couple games. But if he's playing, 16 now 17 games, he's gonna win you a couple games. So it's like he's a good backup. He's a very viable backup. And unfortunately, we found out that Tua had his X-ray on Sunday. It was negative. Then they were doing tests trying to see if they could find anything. Unfortunately, they did. He has a couple fractured ribs, so he's going to be out for probably a minimum of 3 weeks. So Dolphins are going to be rocking with Jacoby for a minute, and there is the difference. Jacoby Brissett's much taller than Tua. Jacoby Brissett has a different arm than Tua. He's a righty versus a lefty, so now the right tackle isn't as important as the left tackle. There's a lot of differences, so we'll see how it all pans out. This is the test, though, because Raiders are 2-0. And it's not like they're 2-0. Like the Broncos are 2-0, and not to knock the Broncos, but I'm pretty sure you guys want me to knock the Broncos because you guys are Raider fans. Who did the Broncos beat?
Nobody.
Yeah, so the Broncos being 2-0. You're like, all right. You beat the Giants, and then you beat the Jaguars.
Jacksonville, right?
But the Raiders, on the other hand, you beat the Steelers, you beat the Ravens. This is a game where the Dolphins can be like, all right, are we going to win with Jacoby Brissett, or is it another scenario where we need Tua to come back? So I'm excited and incredibly nervous for this game.
Okay, so what's going on with Will Fuller? Will we see him this week?
I'm hoping.
I'm ready. I'm looking forward to that challenge in our secondary with Will Fuller and Devontae Parker, man.
I am so hoping, because he was supposed to play against Buffalo. And at this time, Wednesday, he did a press conference. He was talking about how Randy Moss taught him at some point in like a go route to not look back at the quarterback, but look up, because at that point, the ball was in there. He was happy. And all of a sudden, Thursday, he disappeared. Friday, he was gone. So it's like, at this point, he was at practice today, and the thoughts are he will play against you guys. So that will definitely help, stretch the field. And, because Albert Wilson had a few drops, Devontae Parker had a drop touchdown last week. We need some help on that wide receiver spot.
Jay, you got anything? I know you want to, break down this game. This is because people keep saying it's an automatic win for us. I'm not going that far until it's 0-0 and whatever the score is. So what you got for us, Jay?
So here's my thoughts. And the reason why I know that this is a trap game, this isn't a game that they need to take lightly, is the defense has performed, for the Dolphins has performed pretty well. And they've actually allowed less points scored against teams than the Raiders have in these first two games. Now, the Raiders did go up against the Ravens and the Steelers, so we have to take that into account. But this is not going to be, we're just gonna roll into Allegiant Stadium and wipe the floor with the Dolphins. I mean, we have to take it seriously, and I am interested to see what Jon Gruden and Derek Carr and the rest of this offense have in store for a relatively good Dolphins defense. So, how are you feeling about your defense going into this game?
I feel good, but I think it's going to be another situation like it was last year, because Waller is he's just a man on a different level. Most of his catches last year against us, Eric Rowe was there. He was in his chest. He was trying to jump up, smack the ball down. It's not like Eric Rowe is out of position covering Waller. It's just that Waller is that good that it's like, screw it, you got one-on-one with Eric Rowe, just throw it up to him. He's gonna catch it. Doesn't matter. And Derek Carr is looking much better this year than he has. I know it's just 2 games, but he has looked much. I think he's leading the league in passing yards. So it's like
817 to be exact.
It's going to be a good game. Now our defense versus your offense, that's going to be a good game. But when it comes to the other way around, I'm terrified of your guys' pass rush, because we already saw what our offensive line did to our quarterback. And then Brissett came in, and I think there was 6 sacks given up last week to the Buffalo Bills, 2 of them to their rookie Russo. So I'm nervous, because I know you guys also got a pretty good pass rush going on over there.
I'm just kind of figuring. I guess his phone must have died. I don't know what happened, but what's going on? What made y'all release Bernard McKinney, the linebacker? I didn't understand the reasoning of it. I thought that the Raiders would look at him after y'all released him. But what happened in that situation with him?
I think it was a lot of the fact that Brian Flores likes multiple looks on the defense, and he wants you to be able to play and do multiple things on that defense. So they brought in Bernard McKinney on just a swap trade. I think we sent Shaq Lawson to the Texans and a 6th. They sent us Bernard McKinney and a 7th. It was just a swap trade. And he was good. He's a good thumper. He's a good run stopping. But then, it kind of puts the defense at a disadvantage, because if he's in there, just target him, because he's not very good at pass protection. So That's where – and then Landon Roberts was coming back from a big knee injury. But then once Landon Roberts showed that he's healthy, they were like, well, we don't really need him anymore. So that's why they moved on. But after watching 2 games back to back where the first run was big runs, it seems like we might need to bring Bernard McKinney back.
Man, I think it's going to be a great game going off of what happened, last year and how that game ended. Do you feel that y'all should have kept Fitzmagic? I had to ask that question. I know he's out in Washington and he's probably going to be done most of the majority of the year with the hip. But do you think y'all should have kept Fitzmagic this year?
I think the fact that the reason they didn't keep him is so Tua doesn't feel like he needs to constantly look over his shoulder, because he had to do it twice. Denver and you guys, he had to look over his shoulder. Whereas, they wanted to be like, Tua, this is your team now. We bring in Jacoby Brissett, but listen, you're getting the starting reps. You're getting all this. This is your team. Don't worry about, who's behind you.
Right.
So I think that's why they didn't bring him back. But I think at this point, a lot of people are wishing they brought him back, because he was good. I think he's injured right now with Washington. I think he got injured off the field, and then in the game he got injured more. But yeah, I loved me some Fitz, especially in that.
I think y'all should have kept him. Me personally, I think y'all should have kept. Y'all should not let him walk. But I felt as though at the same time, y'all got Tua as a high draft pick. You already knew his injury, situation coming in with the hip, with his situation, and now the ribs. Do you feel like, because Derek Carr been getting some lack about him being injury prone as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are you starting to feel that Tua is starting to be injury prone as well?
That was his biggest, for me, that was the biggest worry coming out of college. A lot of people had other issues with him, but me was his health. He never missed any college games before the hip injury. He had some ankle surgeries, which was they were like tightrope surgeries, essentially just strengthening his ankles. But he even played like the week after getting a major ankle surgery. So he never really missed games. So he got injured, but never missed games until the hip. And then he had the thumb injury or finger injury last year, took him out of game. I guess you could say he's injury prone, but like the amount of hits he's taken, like there's the talks that the Dolphins were interested in Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has 2 ACL tears. He's had a broken rib. He's had a back injury, but no one puts that.
No
mark
one
on
questions him, right?
So it's like, it just depends on the player. If the player is a high athlete, a high elite player, you kind of brush the injuries off, because Tom Brady has a laundry list of injuries. Drew Brees, broken ribs, and like all, but no one talks about them. So it depends on the level of play, I guess you can say.
Whew. So. Last year's game, do you feel like the Dolphins got lucky because of that pass interference? Or is no longer with that? Do you feel like you got lucky last year? Because I think we're coming for some payback this on Sunday.
In all honesty, I want to say no. Now, the luck of the face mask and that throw was lucky. So if you want that answer, then yeah, sure, because he couldn't see. It was a bad beat. Didn't follow Matt Collins up the sideline. He saw it, and then when he went to throw, he couldn't see anymore. He said, "Screw it, let it ring." But there was a tic-tacky offensive pass interference on your guys' long touchdown, and then the tic-tacky defensive pass interference that put you guys in field goal range. I'm like, all right, well, if you're going to call the defensive one, you should have called the offensive one. If you go back and watch my live stream, I was pretty mad at that point, because I was like, they won off of a flag. Like, I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, I was livid in my live stream. I was so livid. It was just like Paul Gunther. It was just time for him to go. Mm-hmm. And now bringing in a Gus Bradley that know how to bring pressure only forward with all the rotation on the defensive line. I really want to see this game in the trenches. I really want to see if the Dolphins really can challenge our defensive line. Because I feel like the last 2 weeks, everybody keeps saying, oh, injuries on the offensive line, injuries here, injuries there. So I really want to see if we get a challenge this week. And, because, nobody really talks about the Raiders. Mainstream media want to talk so bad about us, it doesn't make any sense. So my next thing is who would be like if you was the coach for the Dolphins and you had a right tackle that wanted to go up against Crosby or Yannick, who would be your player that you would put against them?
I'd want, and it sucks because the way the Dolphins built this offensive line, there's no vets. It's all, second, first year players. So it's like there's Jesse Davis. Jesse Davis is the only vet we really have that to play that right tackle position. And he's the one who gave up the Olay sack, essentially just letting the defender go and injuring Tua. So it's like, I would say hopefully Jesse Davis, because he's the only 5-year player we have. Other than that, you have Liam Eichenberg, who's a rookie. You have Austin Jackson, a second-year player. Robert Hunt, a second-year player. And it's just like, that's where the game is going to be interesting for me, is who is going to be taking on these responsibilities, and can the Dolphins offensive line at least give Jacoby Brissett 3 seconds for the plays to develop and get the ball out of his hands? It's going to be interesting.
So, I mean, if you have questions, because I know I got one more question before you go.
Kind of like what's going on. Me personally, as a Dolphin fan, I need to know, is Derek Carr playing on Sunday? I know I got my fingers crossed he doesn't.
Yes.
So he is playing.
So what Jon Gruden said in his presser today, that Jon Gruden did fully participate in practice today, so he is ready to go.
Oh, it's going to be it's going to be Kenyon Drake in a revenge game against the Dolphins, right?
Oh, I forgot he was there. Y'all drafted him. Interesting.
That's going to be a good game.
Interesting. See, Jay, you got some questions, because I know I could go on and on, brother.
I mean, so far you've covered pretty much, all. I mean, that was going to be my next big question: is how do you stop this Raiders defensive pass rush? But you guys kind of just talked about that. So, yeah. So that and then, like I said, the Dolphins defense is playing pretty well. So those were my two big burning questions of, what are we going to what is each side going to do? To rein in these defenses and to try to, score points against these defenses, especially given, the backup quarterback situation with the Dolphins and stuff like that. It's definitely going to be, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a good game in Allegiant Stadium. So those are the two big questions I had.
You missed out one question, because the Dolphins have a nice little secondary with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. Now that's outside of the trenches. That's the matchup that I want to see, because Xavier Howard, he'll talk about he wanted to be traded earlier in the offseason, and now he's playing. And then you got Byron Jones, and I don't know who your other. I forgot the other names of the other, because Byron Jones plays safety or corner, right?
Corner.
He plays corner. Okay. So how are y'all going to attack the receiving core of the Las Vegas Raiders, knowing that we have Hunter Renfrow, Brian Edwards, Henry Ruggs, Willie Snead, Zay Jones, plus, Waller is going to be a part of that receiver core. How do you think that, that secondary is going to attack this wide receiver core for the Raiders?
To me, the biggest thing, and, you can't really look past Ruggs. You can't really look past the guys you have. But for me, my biggest thing is going to be Waller. Now, I think Xavier Howard and Byron Jones can handle whoever they're going to cover, because all year they've pretty much shut down. Stephon Diggs, I think, had 60 receiving yards last Sunday, going one-on-one with Xavier Howard. They tend to really limit the receivers that they are facing. It comes to your guys' slot. Like, if you put Ruggs in the slot, he'll probably have a pretty decent game, because he's either going to go up against Coleman or he's going to go up against Nick Needham. And then Waller. What is the Dolphins' plans against Waller? Because if they watched last year's game, he was extremely dominant, and he's still extremely dominant. So they need to figure that out, whether it's put Rowe and Jerome Baker on Waller or do something, because you can't leave him one-on-one, because he's going to catch whatever's thrown his way.
Okay, so now we can get to the Kenyon Drake situation. So White Tyson does have a question. He said, isn't the real question, how do they see their offense scoring? Meaning, how many points you think the Dolphins can score as far as their offense? Because I know I could never get this tight end's name correct. I can never pronounce it. Huh?
Gazicki?
I could never get that name. I always butcher it. But I know he's a rising tight end in this league. Very talented. Parker is 100%. Now you might have Will Fuller and then Gaskin as a running back. So y'all have some weapons on offense that definitely could give us a challenge. Who you think could be a breakout against our defense that we probably don't know about?
If the offensive line can give the quarterback, it's all going to come down to your pass rush versus the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
But if Jacoby Brissett can get time and can allow the plays to develop at any point, I could see Waddle. I could see Jalen Waddle potentially sneaking under the radar, because if Will Fuller does play, I think you guys would really focus on shutting down that deep threat of Will Fuller, because we know Jacoby Brissett's going to try to throw those deep passes. So I think you'll see Waddle coming underneath a lot, getting those crossing routes and doing his thing where you get him in the open field, he's going to make people miss. So I can see Waddle and Gazicki really doing some justice on Sunday.
I'm so excited for this game, man. I know that it's been rough for y'all the last 2 weeks. Y'all struggled against, Pittsburgh. I mean, not Pittsburgh. Y'all played my New England in that game, which was an AFC East rivalry. Well, you want to say matchup, but I can't. I don't know, man. I just feel like this game might come down to the wire. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. For some reason, I have this feeling that it's going to be low-scoring, but at the same time, I said that about Pittsburgh. We end up scoring 26 points. And, we gave up 17 against Pittsburgh. So I'm just I'm kind of looking forward to what our defensive line could do, because remind everybody, for anybody that's in the chat, Jacoby Brissett is just not a pocket passer.
Yeah, he can roll out and he can do some damage. We saw it against Buffalo, because they constantly were getting pressure on him. He's able to move out of the pocket, give himself some time. On that drop touchdown pass to Devontae Parker, he rolled out and he gave himself a few more seconds to let Devontae Parker get up the field and get open. But I agree with you. To me, and I'm going to say it again, it's just what is going on in these trenches. If Derek Carr gets all the time in the world, it's going to be a problem. And if Jacoby Brissett gets no time at all, it's going to be a problem. For me, that's my biggest thing. And that's the thing that makes me the most nervous, is I don't know what the Dolphins offensive line is going to look like. And I don't know how the pass rush is going to look. So it's like, I want to win, but if I'm going off of what I saw against Buffalo, it's going to be a hard game, especially against you guys and seeing what you guys did the past 2 weeks.
I'm curious to know, because I know you're a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm curious to know, is there any favorite Raiders player that you even liked at all, like of all time? Because I mean, I was always a Dan Marino guy when it came to Miami. I always loved Dan Marino. I just always thought he was one of the greatest quarterbacks, which he is the greatest quarterback of one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But do you have anybody on the Raiders side that you had a favorite, like growing up, or that you like more? Ricky Williams, White Tyson said Ricky Williams was another one. So you have a few, you have Jason Taylor, another one. So it's so many great players that come through Miami, but do you like any great players that came out of the Raiders?
See, I'm a defensive guy, so I would probably say Long, Howie Long. He was really good for you guys. Woodson, really good for you guys. My brain is just all over the place right now. But I'm a big defensive guy. When I played football, I played defensive end. So that's my favorite of the Dolphins, besides the obvious, was always Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas. Those are defensive guys. So when it comes to the Raiders side of it, it was always that defense, that punch you in the mouth, black hole defense that just that's what it, because the offense was good. You guys had who's that running back? He was also on the Chiefs, I think. I can't think of his name. My brain is not working properly. You guys had like an all-time great running back.
All-time great running back that was with the Raiders and went to the Chiefs?
Or vice versa. I think he started with the Raiders, and then I think he went to the Chiefs.
I'm not too sure.
I know who you're talking about. I can see his face in my head.
I
But for
can't put
whatever
a
reason, I
pinpoint
can't.
on it.
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen.
There
Right.
you go. Thank
There
you.
you go. Thank you, Chevy Silver Raider. Thank you so much for that.
Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson, another great, But then like you also had some great like receivers. Like Jerry Rice came to you guys. I'm not gonna talk about Randy Moss though, because that whole that era was like let's just push that under the carpet.
Yeah, because that was the era of let's just get a bunch of old players and just try to win with those.
Exactly. But yeah, I remember you guys being that type of team that it was just I'm gonna punch you in the mouth and keep going. And there was always that physical Raiders black hole team.
So what is your thoughts on Jon Gruden? Everybody got something to say about Jon Gruden. I even has me and Jay always had something to say about Jon Gruden too. We just don't praise him. We criticize the crap out of him because of the 4 seasons he was here or what he did back in 2002 with at that time. But how do you feel what type of coach Gruden is? Like, how do you feel about him? Do you think he's a successful coach? Do you think he's do you think he might lose his job? Just thinking, just as a football analyst, and not just take the teams out of it,
I think Gruden is probably getting more and more on a shorter leash. When he got hired, I thought it was a great hire. I thought it was awesome for him to go back to Oakland. Not Oakland. Well, it was.
Everybody make that mistake. I still do it to this day.
I thought it was awesome for him to go back to the Raiders. He's a good coach. He really is a good coach, and I see him as one of those coaches that really knows what he's doing, but sometimes he gets in his own way and he tries to outsmart the opponent and kind of outsmarts himself, I guess you can say. But you see what he's trying to install with the Raiders, and you see what he's trying to build. It's kind of like what he did with Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl. He's trying to build this, tough style defense with a very good melodic offense that will keep the ball moving. But I think he's on a short leash. Like if the Raiders kind of falter again, or if towards the end of the season they kind of start to fall off, I don't see him being around much longer. Maybe another year, if that.
I think I'm the same way. I think me and Jay is on the same page when it comes to this. I feel like if we don't even make a playoff push this year, I think he's gone.
Especially starting 2-0, you have to.
Yeah, starting 2-0, but you see what happened last year. We started 6-3. We ended up 8-8. So hopefully with the right defense that we have now, where we're looking good. No Paul Gunther, Gus Bradley came in. Hopefully this defense can definitely hold up in the second half because we haven't been a second half team. That's the one thing. So my next question is against your offense, who is the top 3 players on our defense that you think, not even you think, the 3 defensive players you're concerned about against your offense? Who's the 3 defensive players on the Raiders that you're like, oh, we gotta make sure we block him, or we gotta make sure we outrun him? Who is those guys on the Raiders defense you think you need to be concerned about going into this game?
My most important and most concerned is your pass rush, is your 2 edge guys, because they have just consistently for the past 2 weeks just been getting after the quarterback. And if you can't run the ball, which would be hard to do against this defense and these guys, you're not gonna be able to pass the ball, because then they're just going to pin their ears back and go after you and not be worried about the play action. So for me, it's not a knock on your secondary, because your secondary is good because it feasts off the way your front works. For me, it is that front, and it is your pass rushers and how little time they give the quarterback to actually let plays develop. So for me, that's what I'm going to be, really worried about is those 2 guys.
So shout out to Ricardo for the $5 super chat. He said was good spotlight. How many sacks this Sunday? Low balling around 5. What you think? How are you doing, Raiders? I'm gonna be honest. The way you've been talking about your offensive line, it got me feeling very confident in our defensive line. It got me feeling really confident. I say I would try 4, because I know how mobile Brissett can be. But the question is, when will he be mobile? Because mind you, Yannick Ngakoue is I don't think he's 100%, but Max Crosby by himself is a bully in himself. Without
he's a man on a mission.
He's a man on a mission that he's trying to prove everybody from the slump year that he had last year. So I feel like I would say 3 or 4 just to lowball it, but I don't want to overdo it either, because any given Sunday, anything can happen. We've seen it. It's one time we went from, I guess it was one game that we won, and then we went and played Atlanta, and we stunk it up.
Yeah.
And me and John was on that live stream, was like, oh, we ready to end this right now, because we was getting blown out by Atlanta. And like, it's any given Sunday. That's why I try to tell the Raider Nation and tell people, like, I'm not looking over this Miami game, no matter if Tua is in there or not. I'm not looking over this game. And I'm saying, oh, well, let's go to the next game. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Yeah, because we had a lot of the same players last season playing against the Dolphins, and that didn't go so well. So
yeah, it didn't go so well at all. I was ready. I was ready to slam my head again like I did in the Jets game. I don't know if you saw that, but I ended up changing my whole shirt, my whole jersey, everything against that Jets game. And then we end up winning it. And I was like, "Are you serious?" I changed it. Darn it.
I do the same thing though. Like when we were playing the Patriots, I was wearing one shirt, and then Buffalo again, I'm wearing the same shirt. If it works, it works. And apparently it didn't work, so I'm not gonna be wearing the same shirt again.
But I was really looking forward to, what Tua could do in a full season, without him being hurt. And I was really looking forward to the challenge with Tua, even though Brissett, I'm not gonna take nothing away from him. But would you feel more confident if you had a healthy Tua than Brissett?
Yeah, 100%. The way Tua runs this offense and runs the RPO, I would feel better, because he's also a little bit more athletic than Jacoby Brissett. So there is that chance of him getting more yards with his legs, where you watch Jacoby Brissett try to take off and scramble. You're like, is he actually running, or is he just standing still? Because he's pretty slow. So I would, and like you said, this was the year that, I didn't look at last year as a defining, like, this is who Tua is. A lot of things went into play on his season last year. This was the year I was going to judge him and see, is this the franchise quarterback, or are the Dolphins going to go out and try to make a move for Deshaun Watson potentially next year, maybe try to get Aaron Rodgers to come across. But unfortunately, he got injured, and with fractured ribs, that's not something easy you can get over. So minimum 3 weeks he's out, and that really hinders how the team and even his fans can really assess how he's going to do. So, but yeah, if I had to choose between a fully healthy Tua and Brissett, I would go with Tua.
Now, with our size, before we get into that, shout out to Raider Prophet. He said Gus would use Littleton on a surprise blitz packages just to justify his role, get him involved. Why not? It's Miami. See, you see what I'm saying? When it comes to overlooking, it's Miami. I'm not going to overlook. I would love to see Corey Littleton have a great game. He was a big acquisition for us coming in. So I'm confident in coming into this game, but I'm not going to get overly confident, because I said I did it last year. I jinxed myself and we lost. I'm not doing it this year. I'm not doing it to myself. And it's surprising y'all have to come back to Allegiant Stadium. Surprising we don't have to go to Miami this year. So
yeah, I think it's just the way it played out schedule wise.
Yeah, because now you got the fans. That's going to make a big difference compared to last year. So shout out to Ricardo again for the $20 super chat. Thank you for the super chats. Really do appreciate it. Carl Nassa, where did he come from? Finally earning his money. Put this D is not like last year. No way we lose this game. The D is a tunnel vision, energy, and motor that's contagious around the team, bro. I agree. Carl Nassib is a very underrated defensive lineman in this rotation, especially with the defensive ends with Clean and Farrell playing inside and outside, our former fourth overall pick, Darius Fowline and Jonathan Hankins. Sad to see Jerome McCoy. I would love to see more of him, the way he went down on Monday night. But hey, that's the thing. We have so many people that's going to be fresh legs against this offensive line. So did you do your preview of your video yet? Because I know you've been working on this on your channel. I'm like, This guy cannot. He always uploading something when it comes to Miami Dolphins. This guy's been working. So,
Yeah.
Jay, you got anything, man? Because I know, I mean, it's pretty late, but still, we had to get this in, man. We had to get this in.
Yeah, no, I was, I mean, as far as the secondary of the Dolphins is concerned, Byron Jones definitely has me worried. Xavier Howard definitely has me worried. So I just hope that the Raiders can go out and the offense doesn't sputter, because the last thing I want to do is be behind in the second half, and have to come out and fight tooth and nail to come up, because just like last, I am shell shocked from last season and playing against the Dolphins and what happened. I'm like, I'm sick to my stomach this week, man. And I'm like, come on, do not let this happen, because we've got such a good momentum going, 2-0 against two playoff teams, really good teams. And the last thing I would want to do is have to take a loss, to a team that I mean, injuries happen and you've got to play through it, but they're still banged up. They're without their starting quarterback. So that means something. If Derek Carr went down and we had to put our backup quarterback in, I would not want to see Peterman out there playing for the Raiders against anybody in the NFL. So, so I'm just not, I'm not going to put it past this Dolphins team to come in and play for real. So, it's going to be a good game, and I'm excited for it.
Now let's turn to the flip side of things. The Dolphins defensive line versus our offensive line, because our offensive line is a little beat up. Incognito has not played the last 2 weeks with a calf injury. He did not practice today. And then you have Alex Leatherwood. He did go out in the Pittsburgh game, but he was a full participant, in this game. And we know Alex Leatherwood is a rookie. And then, we have to mix and match some things there. How do you feel about your interior against our offensive line?
I'm interested to see the rookies go up against each other, and Leatherwood and Jalen Phillips. I really want to see those guys go up against each other. And unfortunately, Raekwon Davis, he's going to be out for another couple of weeks with a leg injury. But Emmanuel Ogbah, he had 9 sacks last year. He had a sack against Josh Allen last week. He's super, super disruptive. I think he drew a few holding calls against the Patriots. So I'm interested to see what he can do. I want to see Christian Wilkins bounce back, see what he can do. Mm-hmm. But the defensive line has a lot of talent on it. They just have to show it. And it seems like the past 2 weeks, they've been having a hard time kind of getting to the quarterback and getting pressure on them. And they have to show it, because there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent on the Dolphins defensive line. They just got to show it and get after that offensive line. But like I said, I want to see the rookies go against the rookies and see who can win that one.
That's going to be an interesting one, because Leatherwood has not went up against a rookie all year, the last 2 weeks. So now he gets to go up against a rookie that's very talented as well. And Leatherwood is just as talented. People say I get on him about Leatherwood. Yes, I do get on him, because everybody think in the NFL that the Raiders, got him as a reach as usual. But I see what I see, and I let people know, like, he have to work on his technique. He got to have his base a little bit better. It's just the minor things with Leatherwood. And if that was going on for Phillips, you would say the same thing. But people are like, oh, he's good. You don't have nothing to say. Come on, y'all. You got to see to make sure they progress and not regress. So I'm looking forward to it. So I just hope Brian Flores does not put linebackers on Waller. Just make sure he doesn't put any of your linebackers on Waller, because that is just going to be a mismatch from hell.
If they were to do it, it would be in a double team, because Jerome Baker has the speed, but he doesn't have the height. So if you take Jerome Baker's speed and then match it with Eric Rowe and his height, if they double team Waller, then I could see it happening. But if they put linebackers on Waller one-on-one, it would be the dumbest thing he did.
But what is your record prediction for your Miami Dolphins now? Since, when Tua comes back, do you have like a prediction already out there? How you feel about Miami's, do you think they go back to winning 10 wins, or get more, or get less?
Well, they went 5-11. Flores' first year. They go 10-6 last year, and I thought you got to go up. We can't regress, because then people are going to start questioning you, start questioning what's going on with the team. So I had them going 11 wins, 11, 12 wins this year. With Tua being out, I have to see how Jacoby Brissett plays. If he plays better than Tua, or if our offense scores more, not saying against you guys, but we have the Colts next week, and we'll see if Carson Wentz even plays next week. If they score more with them, then it's going to be an interesting thing. Maybe they still stick with that 11 to 12 wins. But if they still struggle like they did against Buffalo, it might. My prediction might go down to 10-7, maybe even 9-8.
I really like your running back Gaskin. I can't wait to see him against his defensive line. I can't wait to see him, because we shut down. We didn't shut down our run game. Our run game against Baltimore was, of course, you have Lamar Jackson. You have to worry about him, and now they boarded Latavius Murray and some other guys. But I think we did pretty well against Najee Harris. A lot of people was like, "Oh, can the Raiders stop the run against Najee Harris?" Now, outside of Gaskin, who else do the Raiders defensive front should look for when it comes to the running back position?
Don't overlook Savon Ahmed. He is a very good pass catching running back, and he's very fast. So he's another guy matched up with Myles Gaskin. So there's some formations where both of them are in the backfield. Really good, because you'll have these formations where it'll be Brissett in the backfield and shotgun. He'll have Gaskin on one side, Ahmed on the other, and he'll motion Ahmed around him to kind of resemble a bubble screen that he's going to throw to Ahmed. And he decides in that moment in this RPO offense, is he going to hand it off to Gaskin, or is he going to throw the bubble to Ahmed? So that he reads the defense. Are they biting on the inside? If they're biting on the inside, I'm going to drop it off to Ahmed. But if they're trying to take that away, it'll leave a lane open in the middle, get the handoff to Gaskin. This RPO offense that the Dolphins installed, which is Tua runs fantastically, really messes with the defense a little bit, because you get three options. Either he's going to hand it off, he's going to keep it, or he's going to throw a quick slant to either Waddle or Parker, which kind of won them the game against the Patriots, because it was 1st and 14. They needed that first down. Like, RPO'd and gave it to Parker, got his 2nd and short, and eventually won the game off a first down. So, yeah, don't overlook Ahmed, and even Malcolm Brown. He's that big third down back. He's somebody that can be very dangerous as well.
And I can kind of say that for our running backs too, even though our running backs pretty struggled in the Pittsburgh game, but I still like how Peyton Barber ran the ball. I still like how, Keon Drake was catching the ball out the backfield. I'm just hoping we use Trey Reyes, our undrafted free agent that moves up to the 53-man roster. Hopefully we can see a bit of him, because we won't see Jalen Richard until after week 4, because he's on IR. My next question was, I think me and Jay is about to laugh about this one. What's going on with Lib Bowden Jr.? What's up with him? What's going on with this guy? I was a big fan of him. I'm gonna let everyone know. I was a big fan of him. I did a whole thing on why the Raiders should draft Lynn Bowden Jr. If we end up drafting him, and then we're trading him. So I would like to know, what's your thoughts on having him in Miami? I don't even know if he's still on the football team or not. So
yeah, he's on the football team. He was dealing with a calf strain for most of camp. He also had an uphill battle, trying to displace either Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, Waddle, Jakeem Grant, Albert Wilson. He was very low. But the Dolphins, like how you felt, the Dolphins see something in him, because he was really good for us last year. So unfortunately, he got put on the IR. So the Dolphins essentially stashed him away. Because if you put your player on IR before the season starts, he's there for the season. But if you do it after the season starts, you can bring him back within 3 weeks or 8 weeks. So before the season started, they were like, look, we don't want to cut him, but we have more wide receivers than we need. They put him on IR and they stashed him. So
that guy is so talented, man.
So
he's good. He's real good.
So we're talking about running backs. Here's my question. So Malcolm Brown, he's your number 2 top producing running back right now. Tell us what do the Raiders have to look for in him to keep him from putting those yards up?
He's that bullback. He's that guy that if it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, or even goal line, they're going to give it to him because he's gonna plow through somebody and try to get some yards after carry. So it's gonna he that's where he comes in. Between the 20s, it's more of Gaskin Ahmed style where open field, get him to him, try to make that stuff work. But then once it gets down there, they're going to do that. But don't be surprised if they use Jacoby Brissett on some quarterback sneaks because against the Patriots, there was some 4th and shorts and 3rd and short, and they took Tua out and they brought Brissett in to do a quarterback sneak.
Right,
big man. He's a big man.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times this season too, in a couple games where, especially in the Patriots game, I actually did a live play-by-play of that game, and I see they brought Brissett in on those 3rd and ones or those 4th downs, and Brissett is not no slouch. He's built like a linebacker, and so at the quarterback position. So as far as what the Raiders need to do, we got to make sure we wrap up. We got to make sure we tackle because Big Ben was big, and you see we didn't struggle, but we got the pressure that we needed. But Brissett is more elusive than Big Ben right now. So for our defense, we can't over pursue, and we have to make sure we try to bring that big fella down. That's my thing. So we got a $5 super chat from Ricardo. Steelers tried to bracket D Waller all game, and how did that work out? 380 to Tugs. And now we have, do you agree that Jon Gruden trusts Carr with the O, Gus with the defense and special teams, and the staff is properly played? No longer needed to be an overlord. Just be a good coach. Thank y'all for the $5 super chat. This is back to back. I think y'all together, if I'm not mistaken. But shout out to everybody that's in the chat. If y'all have not gone and subscribe to Douglie Do Wrong. He has great Miami Dolphins content. If you love football, not just Raiders, if you love football, you definitely want to go subscribe to him. Definitely a great brother here. Definitely a great content creator. And me and Jay loves to do this every week with different people. We had the Still Twins on last week. Me and Hammer, another person that's part of the crew. We had him on, and then we had TTB Ravens Media on Monday night for the Monday night game. So we love doing these type of shows, man. We love doing these type of shows. So let's talk about it. Final prediction for this game.
Oh, I have 2 predictions because it all depends on the offensive line. If the offensive line gives Jacoby Brissett time and the Dolphins are actually able to score, I will actually say the Dolphins will pull this one off. I think that the defense has enough in it to contain the Raiders. Waller is going to score as long as we don't let him take over the game, just go crazy. I do think that the Dolphins could pull it off if the offensive line can give Brissett enough time and have the offense move somewhat. Now, that being said, if your pass rush consistently torments the Dolphins' offensive line, I don't think the Dolphins will win this game. I think you guys will win it by more. So if I do see the Dolphins win, I think it'll be close. I think it'll be like 24-21 Dolphins win. If I see the Dolphins losing, I think it's going to be by more. I see the Dolphins losing by like 14-28. So it all depends on, can the offensive line contain your guys' pass rush and allow the receivers to run their routes and allow there to be a run game? If that happens, I see the Dolphins, pulling this one out. But if it doesn't happen, I see you guys winning by at least 10 points.
See, he saw it from both perspectives, Raider Nation. He saw it from both perspectives. So he see us winning if we could dominate the offensive line, which I think we will. So you might have that score correct, 28-14, because that's what I have. I have 28-14, the Raiders winning. I think that we can, if we could get pressure on Brissett and mess up the timing with Fuller and Devontae Parker and those guys on the offensive side of the ball, if we could mess up that timing, getting pressure from up the middle or from the outside, I say 28-14, and it's just like if the Raiders could start off good. Instead of being a second half team, we probably could score more. But since the Raiders have not started well in the first half of the first 2 games, I'm giving the Raiders 28 points. I want to give them 30, but not just yet. According to Vegas, they have us as a 3-point favorite, which I think that's kind of like they thinking about last year's game, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know about. I'll say more like a 5-point if I learn how to play the spread. But I don't know about 3-point. But I say 28-14 Raiders. Jay, what's your score prediction, brother?
I'm gonna say 28-20. I think that the defense has been working hard the last couple of weeks. So I think they're gonna have a bend but not break mentality. So I think they are going to allow a couple of touchdowns and a couple of field goals, but all in all, the Raiders' offense is going to come out and they're going to come out swinging. I think that they got a lot of momentum behind them, and as long as they do what they're supposed to do, and we can get the run game established, which I believe that we can have a bounce back game and get the run game established. I think they're going to score 4 touchdowns, so 28-20.
Okay, so I do have a question from Untouchable Raider. He says, asked if Douglie do wrong wants Deshaun Watson.
Yes and no.
I know you can get this question all the time.
All the time. Like as soon as like that stuff started popping up, it was all in my comment section on Twitter and everything. Yes and no. His off the field stuff is the only thing that is making me hesitant on bringing him in, because I don't know if he's going to be suspended. I don't know what is going on in that aspect of his life. So yes, and then also, what do the Texans want? Because before this whole situation happened, supposedly the Dolphins were going to get Watson, and then all these allegations came out, and then that kind of went to the wayside. So what do the Texans want? Because I'm not giving up 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. He is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but I'm not giving up 3 first-round picks and more. They want 3 firsts and more. No. So to me, it depends on what's going, and I think that's why he's going to be with the Texans either until the trade deadline or until the offseason, because nobody knows what's happening with him off the field. That and what do the Texans want? Because I'm not mortgaging the future of the team for one player.
That's your answer there, and I think that's been the same answer that he's been giving everybody that's on Twitter, everybody on Instagram or whatever. So. And I've been getting that question too, as a Raiders fan. You know, every quarterback that becomes available, the first team they look at is the Las Vegas Raiders, because they the disrespect for Derek Carr. So yeah, and within 2 weeks, Carr has proven wrong that no, I'm not going anywhere. Shout out to Cool Cat for the $4.99 super chat. Said Raiders need to establish the run game versus defense. He said Raiders win 28-12. Let me see. So they asking, no, but I'm actually going further up. There's so many questions that's coming in so far now. He said, Gustavo says, what happened against Buffalo? Ask him what went wrong.
The offensive line. What went wrong? Because there was multiple times. It seemed like everything went wrong with Buffalo. But like I was saying before, that, you know, Buffalo, they scored their 2 touchdowns. One of them was off a 45-yard run into the end zone, touchdown. But then after they got their 2 touchdowns, the Dolphin defense just shut them down, causing punts, causing turnovers, just shut them down for a whole quarter and a half. And the Dolphin offense consistently was getting in the red zone. I think at one point there was a fumble by Jakeem Grant on the 10-yard line, and then they tried to convert a 4th and 2, I think, on the 30-something yard line, and failed that. 2 separate times the Dolphins were in the red zone, and there's 2 separate touchdown drops. So the Dolphins very easily, if they just played better sound offense, could have went into the half 14-14 tie, and it might have been a completely different game. But unfortunately, that's not what happened, and they laid a giant goose egg, and then the Dolphin defense just got tired and gave up another 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Another quarterback question is coming in. How about Cam Newton?
Yikes.
I say no. As a Raiders fan talking to the Dolphins, don't do it.
If it's cheap, sure. It depends on how long Tua is out, and if it's cheap. Like if he's taken that 1 year that he did with the Patriots last year, sure, why not? But he has to learn the offense. But I don't see it happening. I don't think he fits what the Dolphins are doing, so I don't see it happening.
Another quarterback question. Aaron Rodgers to Miami.
That one I'd be happy with. But if you asked me that 5 years ago, then I'm like, yeah, please, for the love of God. But it seems like he kind of already has one foot out the door. So it would be like, what Aaron Rodgers or the Dolphins getting? Is this going to be a guy who wants to shut people up and get another Super Bowl? Or is this a guy who's like, let me see what else I got left in the tank before I hang him up,
Mm-hmm.
But I loved Aaron Rodgers. I wanted the Dolphins to draft Aaron Rodgers. I think they had the second overall pick that year. They took Ronnie Brown. And I wanted to trade back into the first round and take Aaron Rodgers. So I'd love it, but what Aaron Rodgers would the Dolphins be getting,
Ronnie Brown was actually a good running back coming out of college too.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you wanted them to trade back. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, if y'all would have got Aaron Rodgers, I think y'all probably would have a Super Bowl right now.
Multiple.
I think they will. And last question I see here. What does Douglie thinks about Derek Carr?
I like Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr coming out of college. When you guys picked him up, I like his moxie, if I could use that word. I like just the way he plays. He's underappreciated. I noticed that a lot too, because he won you guys a bunch of games, and watching him on Monday night and watching him doing his thing. He's a good quarterback, especially that last Monday night against the Ravens. That game, I was watching a few of you guys because I like to watch the game and then I'll pull up some of you guys. And then I think I was watching Ing Raven as well. And I like to watch your guys' reaction. And the interception, I think you guys got the ball and then you thought it was a touchdown and then the interception. Ing Raven lost his mind. And I thought it was hilarious. And then the fumble by Lamar Jackson, and he just laid there. I was like, yeah, just lay there, act like you're hurt, because that is the stupidest thing you did. And then they sent that blitz. They sent that all-out blitz at you guys, and then Derek Carr just screwed it and just threw the ball up for a touchdown. People underestimate Derek Carr.
I just hope Brian Flores just do not go cover 0 against Derek Carr.
No.
Don't do it. because people, I mean, I don't know how fast Xavier or Brian Jones, how fast they are, because Ruggs is fast and he can beat you over the top. So what would be your strategy to try to defend Ruggs with his speed?
I'm putting a safety over top, no matter what side he's on. So I'm going to have McCourty, because that's the safeties the Dolphins are riding with now. McCourty and Eric Rowe. But Javon Holland goes in there a lot. And Javon Holland has been really, really starting as the games go on to show the type of player he is. So Javon Holland, I might even have him kind of shadowing, if not Ruggs. Also have him, with Waller. That's another guy that you keep an ear out for. Javon Holland. He caused a big hit fumble against the Patriots, the one where the wide receiver did a flip. That was Javon Holland, laid him out, and then he had a fumble recovery last week against the Bills. So he was the second round pick for the Dolphins out of Oregon. Very, very, very good safety.
That was one of the guys that I was looking at coming into the draft. One of our guys, Hammerhouse, that be a part of our crew, he was like Javon Holland, because I know I was a Trayvon Merritt guy, and I was like, if we can go get both of them, I'll take it. But Miami ended up getting to the pick and end up getting him because I think he's a great talent out of Oregon. Great talent. And I think he's going to be underrated in this game. And I can't wait to, for our receivers to have that challenge, because our receiver core is young too. Hunter Renfrow, I think he's in his third year. Ruggs and Edwards in their second year. I think the oldest receiver on our team right now is Willie Snead. That is the oldest one. I mean, Zay Jones is a vet, but he has not been in the league as long as Willie Snead.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be, veterans versus young, or a little bit of veterans and rookies or couple year players versus the same thing on our side. So it's going to be challenging. I can't wait for Sunday. I know you'll be live for the game. I will be live. We'll be on here for the game, and it's going to be a real interesting game. I can't wait to see it. And I wish it was in Miami. I probably would have took the trip It probably would have been cheaper because Allegiant Stadium is too expensive to go to right now.
Really?
They saying the prices are going down, but I'm going to take my chances later on in the year when the prices go low. So
yeah, I'm actually heading to because I'm in Jersey. I'm actually going to head to Florida December 5th to watch them play the Giants. I'm waiting.
Oh, really? What part of Jersey you in?
Up in Middlesex, kind of North Jersey, kind of by the stadium, by the Jet Stadium.
I used to live in Deptford, and then I lived in Millville for a couple of years. So I know where Jersey is at. So I'll be in New York in November when the Raiders play the Giants.
Oh, okay.
So we probably cross paths because I'll be back and forth here and there. So it's gonna be fun. But then again, I want to thank my guy Douglie Durong for coming on. I know it was a late live stream, Raider Nation. Y'all know I like to go in early and get done over and have the rest of my day. But we made it happen. We made it work. Thank you for coming on, sir. I really do appreciate you having you on.
I appreciate being on. It was just a blast. Thank you.
I might have to pop into your chat on Sunday. I don't know how you stream, but just send me the link. But if you're doing a little post game, just send me the link and I'll come over there and we'll talk about the post game.
Maybe we'll do a halftime show.
Oh, sure. I'll be live. So I mean, I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would work because I'm live. I mean, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll talk about it, man. But thank you for coming on, and for people that's just coming in, let them know where they can follow you at.
Douglie Durong. You need to find me anywhere, whether on Twitter, YouTube, youtube.com/Douglie Durong. My podcast that's out, Douglie Durong Podcast. It's a very weird name, very peculiar name. So if you need to find me anywhere, just Douglie Durong.
All right, so thank you so much, brother. Me and Jay's gonna stay on and talk a little bit more Raiders, and then we're gonna hop off, and then we're gonna go from there. But I will definitely text you, and talk to you, and see how we could do the halftime show or post game or something of that nature.
Definitely, man. I'm excited.
All right, thanks, man.
See you later.
Thank you.
All right. And that was Douglie Durong, ladies and gentlemen. And Turbo Duran, if you have an issue with me and the way we run our show, thank you for the view. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank you for the view, Turbo. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the view. But shout out to Douglie Durong for coming on to the show. I do these every Wednesday with different YouTubers that we play against our opponents. And good show. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all follow Raider J77 as well. His channel is in the description. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to Raider J77. He will have more content up. I know that he's a hard-working man and stuff of that nature. But let's talk about the Never Lawson news. He is with the Jacksonville Jaguars, y'all.
Yep.
He has signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Good luck.
Hey. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh man, it's about time. I've been waiting for it. I'm like, why do we keep, why do we have this weak link on the defense that is just we're just stuck with him. I don't understand. Like, just get rid of him already. Let's move on. The guy is not good. He's average at best. He's super inconsistent. So just like,
shout out to Terrence. Terrence goes, Jags need the new drugs. Y'all are the most loyal fans in the world. Like, I don't know what I would do without y'all. I don't know what Raider J would do without y'all, man, because we're so loyal to our Raiders. And when someone leaves, especially a bad one like Neville Lawson, and a lot of people kept asking me, and asking us when we do these live streams, they ask us in the chat, oh, why Lawson was not gone? I try to tell y'all have to wait after week 2 for him to be cut. And after that Pittsburgh game around 8:00 in the morning, they cut Neville Lawson.
Done.
I said it. And I made a whole video on it like, he is not going anywhere. But it has been some roster moves over the last 24 hours. Let me actually go to it. Shout out to Raider Scout. If y'all not following him on Instagram and you want your Raiders news right then and there before anybody else get it, NFL, Bleacher Report, any of that, Raiders.scout on Instagram. Make sure you follow him. So, according to 6 hours ago, Raiders Scout put out that the Raiders had released linebacker Markel Lee, and the team hopes to re-sign him to the practice squad. The Raiders are officially signing tackle/guard Jackson Barton off the Giants practice squad. So, I'm not surprised. I was shocked that we released him. I wasn't shocked, Terrence, but now that we got rid of Markel Lee, what's your thoughts on that? You know, we brought in another offensive lineman for depth, and we end up, losing a linebacker. So what's your thoughts on that?
I find it intriguing that and somewhat telling that, they released Nevin Lawson, they released Markel Lee, and then they restructure Corey Littleton to open up, I think it was like $3.1 million in cap space. Yep. So I have the feeling they're going to sign another defense, probably a corner, I'm thinking. Another defensive player, probably a veteran, somebody, maybe like on a 1-year prove-it deal, like a Richard Sherman or something like that. So I kind of feel like that's what they're going to do, because that's kind of been the dark spot. It's been better than last season, but still kind of struggling is the secondary, the corners, the coverage in the pass game. And so I kind of feel like they're going to bring in one more corner, probably a veteran, somebody that really be like the anchor to this defense's cornerback room. So we'll just have to see. But that's my thoughts on why they would have released Markel Lee. Kind of like just, maybe not so much that he was a bad player, but just kind of, we got to make some room. We got to make some cuts. We got to do some stuff to bring in something, another player. So.
Right. So I see the injury report here. The injury report is for Wednesday for Miami and for the Raiders in itself. Derek Carr, full participation in practice with an ankle. Alec Ingold with a fibula, but he was a full participation in practice. Quentin Jefferson with a knee, he was a full participant in practice. Alex Leatherwood, full participant in practice with the back injury. Nick Bukowski was having a concussion, but he was limited at practice. Carlton Nassib with a pec and a toe injury, he was limited. Yannick Ngakoue, because I say I get his name wrong all the time. Hamstring, he was limited. Darius Fowlon with a knee, he was limited. Richie Incognito did not practice. John Jacobs didn't practice. Dylan Levette with a concussion did not practice. I would have expected that anyway, the way he took the hit last week. And Roger Teamer with an ankle, he did not practice. For Miami, they have I don't know how to, okay, so Devontae Parker was a full participation. Preston Williams was a full participation. That's another wide receiver that we definitely need to look at when it comes to this defensive side of the ball. Preston Williams he's a very underrated receiver in the league. Jesse Davis with a knee, which Douglie Duron was just talking about. He's limited. Jakeem Grant with an ankle, he was limited. And Tua Tagovailoa, we all know he did not practice. But this is a good one here. Dominique 5. Can we promote Clinton Dix already? Thank you. I don't want to go out and get Richard Sherman. I just don't. And I just hope that they don't forget that you have a veteran in Clinton Dix on the practice squad, where we don't need to have that distraction. Even though Richard Sherman has been quiet between his whole personal issues and all that. But, if we go out and get Richard Sherman right now, that's going to be a distraction.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think it will be a distraction because, a lot of people didn't, sign him after that. But I love his talent. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a talented player. But do we need that right now with the confidence and how this team is moving? Do we need that right now? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is, he obviously has a relationship with Gus Bradley. If they were to bring him in, would that be, would his relationship with Gus Bradley, and how Gus Bradley can, work with him and kind of control him and keep him, keep him focused and things like that. That might be a factor that plays into it. If they decided to bring him in, I'm not saying they are. I have no idea. But if they did, I would imagine that it would be because they know that him and Gus Bradley can work well together, and those distractions and things like that won't be a factor, because of that relationship. So that would be my 2 cents on that.
Okay, so they said how much coaching can Gus Bradley really expect to get done mid-season, though? It's going to be mostly catch up for him instead of learning. This is why I think that is going to be a 28-14 win over the Miami Dolphins. I just feel like now the Raiders have finally a full week of practice, outside of having a short week going to Pittsburgh and traveling. With the time difference, they could be comfortable at home and they could practice. They probably won't practice on Saturday, but I won't be surprised if Gruden have them practicing every day this week, because he don't want to come in and be slouchy. And I don't know if y'all heard, but I don't know if y'all saw that video go around by Jon Gruden cursing on the sideline, but that's the Chucky that I want.
Oh yeah.
That I don't know about y'all in the chat, but that's the Chucky that I want. And that's the Chucky I've been looking for the last 3 years. He's been too comfortable as the coach and not holding these players accountable. Now you got a whole different coaching staff on the defensive side of the ball. You still got your Tom Cable. You still got your Greg Olsen. Cool. But Gruden, I was waiting for it, brother. I was waiting for you to move that headset and be like, and you heard all of it. You heard all of it. That's the
like
old
7
Chucky.
F-bombs.
Oh, it was like 7 F-bombs within a 10-second radius. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. I put it in our group chat, the group chat that we're in, and I'm like, if Gruden can stay like this and beat on these players' asses,
yep,
this team is going to go far. He can't get comfortable when we got a good record, and that's what I'm really concerned about with Gruden. If he can keep that same energy during the second half of the season.
Yep.
So let's get to some of these. Sherman is the alpha that changed the whole dynamic of the team's chemistry. I agree. Sherman never had on-field focus issues. I would like to see what Ha can do. I would like to see what Ha can do as well before we make that move to go get Sherman. I would like to, if you're going to sign a veteran like Ha Clinton Dix, go see what he could do. See if he can play a little bit of that slot. But the only reason why I don't want to put him in the slot because Ha's been playing well there as a rookie. But I think Clinton Dix can learn from. He can learn from. Well, not learn, but Hobbs can learn from Clinton Dix more than anything. Pause. Because I hate saying that name. I hate saying it. It just make me say something that I don't want to say as a man myself. But if y'all have any questions in the chat, make sure y'all put those questions in the chat. We looking to be on here for like another 10, 15 minutes. I thought Ha played safety, Sherman corner. I think Clinton Dix can play both a little bit of corner and a little bit of corner, a little bit of safety. That's how what's his name that we had last year that we released? Demarius Randall, a guy that we released. He could play both. And Clinton Dix comes from that Don Capers Packers defense. So they both played it. Raiders gaming 101. Where do you rank our defense? Jay, you want to take this one?
Well, according to NFL rankings, we are ranked 16th in the league right now. But I would say, if from what I understand and the stats and stuff like that, I know that Max Crosby is number 1 in QB pressures.
Yep.
And so I would say that I think our pass rush is ranked like 1 or 2 maybe right now. So, I mean, that's why I would put him anyway. I don't know the exact number, but I do know that NFL ranking has us at 16th in the league.
Right now, I would rank after 2 weeks, I would rank the Raiders there. at 16th. And I said that I'm not looking forward to jumping into the top 10, but if we could get close to the top 10, we could get between that 15 and 17 area, which they are at 16 right now. I'll be fine with that. As long as it's not 20, 21, 22. I don't want to be in the 20s. I want to be in the teenage years. I don't want to turn 20 and have to, I just don't want that.
I'll take a top 15 defense, and if we can really improve our pass rush, but our pass coverage, then this defense will take another step I believe we'll take a step into the top 10 given the pass rush.
Yeah.
I think really, the pass coverage, and then maybe I think we can improve a little bit at linebacker, but I feel like we're pretty solid at the linebacker position. So, it's funny. Here's a little bit of at the end, I want to share some good news with Raider Nation. So go ahead.
Okay. Do you think the Raiders will make a trade? Honestly, trade Mariota. Trade him.
Yeah.
Trade Mariota.
I'm done with him. He's hurt too much.
Get him out of here. He's getting, even though that we restructure his contract, he's just not reliable. And the best ability is availability. John said that all last year. I'm saying it now. And right now, he has not been available the first 2 years with the Raiders. We saw him one time on the field in the Monday night game, and we saw him one time on the field against the Chargers. That's 2 games in 2 years. I can't deal with that. That. We need to go get a more solidified backup that I know that I can trust, that can be ready just in case if, God forbid, something happens to Carr.
Yeah, that's not Nathan Peterman.
Yes, it's
Nathan
not.
Peterman is not a number 2 quarterback.
Right. I love Nathan Peterman. I think he did well in preseason, but number 2 quarterback right now, no. Victor Chavez says, do you really need Sherman right now? Bearing an injury, I like our secondary in depth. When it comes to Sherman, the question is, if Sherman comes in, what happens to Trayvon Mullen? That's going to be the question. So I do like our secondary right now. I think Trayvon Mullen needs to get better because his first year as a rookie, he was good, and he had a slump. He had a slump a couple years, and then he's not looking too well when it comes to the deep ball. He's a little bit, handsy at times. I like Trayvon Mullen. I always did. I liked him coming out of Clemson. But as far as Sherman right now, I don't think it's a need like it was in the offseason. What you think, Jay?
I mean, I feel like bringing in Richard Sherman or a guy like him, a veteran cornerback would really help. With guys like Trayvon Mullen and stuff who are new to the league, and I just think that a guy like Richard Sherman, I mean, the dude is just he because of his experience, because of who he is, he just brings an attitude to a defense, and he makes offenses nervous. And so I think bringing him in would be a benefit to the team. Do we need him? Absolutely need him? No. But I mean, if you can improve a defense by adding a guy like him, why the heck not?
Sean Johnson for the comment. He said, trade Cleveland Farrell to the Cowboys for Jalen Smith. I wouldn't mind that trade, knowing that DeMarcus Lawrence is done for the year. They do need a defensive end. I feel like our linebacker core is a little bit thin with Nick Wachowski with a concussion. He's been hurt the last 2 years we had him. Jalen Smith is a good linebacker in this league. I would love to see him in the silver and black. I don't want to give up on Cleveland Farrell right now. I think they don't have nowhere to put him. We're so deep on the defensive line. It's just hard for them to get so many reps. He was so used to getting so many reps from last year because we didn't have no depth. So now we have depth. It's like, where do you put Cleveland Farrell? So I feel like if you trade him for Jalen Smith, I think he can start with the Cowboys. I don't want to trade him because I think he has so much potential, but at the same time, is something that probably has to be done, later on down the line. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that. But I don't think it's absolutely necessary. But like I said, if you can improve a defense in any way, then I say go for it. I mean, if it makes sense to the team, and it makes sense as far as contract is concerned, I say go ahead and do it. But there's no reason to do anything that's not absolutely necessary at this point, especially given the fact that we just restructured Corey Littleton's deal just to get 3.1 more million in cap space. So that doesn't leave us with a whole lot.
Right. And people say, and Benjamin's going to say trade for OBJ. No. That guy has not played since last year. He's coming off another ACL tear. No. Like Anthony said, wait for Devontae Adams. He'll be a free agent next year. And he used to play with Carr at Fresno State. And it's been rumored saying that he would love to play with Derek Carr again. So I'll say wait for Devontae Adams. Do any of you guys play DraftKings? I used to play DraftKings a couple years back. I don't anymore. I wish that I did, because the last time I played, it was a Monday night game, and Drew Brees screwed me out of $5,000 on DraftKings. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I have not done it again. Let's see. Do I miss any questions here? Robert Kilpatrick says, hey, bro, I've been watching your other sports shows, and one of them has the Raiders defense ranked 10th, and most of them are jumping on the Raiders and saying they could be in the hunt for the playoffs or in for L. Thank you for watching other sports shows. Hopefully you go watch the Spotlight Sports Network, where we talk about the Raiders over there too. But yeah, if they got us ranked 10th, then I will take that. I would take that as well. But I kind of felt some disrespect from the mainstream media, where I don't know if you saw the ESPN power rankings or the NFL.com power rankings, how I think ESPN have us as ranked number 15 overall, with teams that have one loss is ahead of us.
Yeah.
I sat here and said NFL.com had us at what, 11, 12, I'm not mistaken. But the ranking where they have Pittsburgh, where they have Baltimore, they have Baltimore in the top 5 in power rankings.
Yeah.
And I understand that y'all beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Cool. Y'all beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So what? But y'all still ain't beat us. Y'all 1-1. We're 2-0. So it makes no sense how our teams just keep getting disrespected. And that's why I tell a lot of people in our chat, on our Spotlight Sports Network chat, I say this. Where we're getting talking positive about, is just like it ain't no underdog there. That's why when Jake told me that the Raiders are 3 points to win the 3-point spread against Miami, I said to him, like, yep, we might lose this game. I got confidence in my Raiders, but it's just something when the team is against us. When the mainstream media is against us, we play so much better when they're against us. But when they're on our side, we play like shit. When they expect us to win, we lose. When they expect us to lose, we win. And now hopefully this curse can be done on Sunday. I hope this curse can be over on Sunday. I really hope it is.
Yeah.
All right. So he said, "Oh, go ahead."
No, I was gonna say I just wanted to say here, real quick, to let everybody know some good news. I got a few little tidbits for everybody. So, is anybody? We as an offense, that first half of that first game, I was like, we're done. It's over. Like, it's terrible, right?
Right.
We are ranked number 1 in offense right now in the NFL. Ooh. Number 1. We are ranked number 1 in passing right now. Number 1. So I'd like to say this. If Derek Carr can keep this up, I completely take everything back that I said about him. I've always been critical of him. I've been frustrated with him over the last couple of seasons. If they can keep this up, man, I'm all for it, bro. The other thing that I wanted to say is that the Raiders have not started the season at 3-0 since 2002, and they reached the Super Bowl that year. That was the last year that we got to the Super Bowl. So that's really, really good, man. I'm excited about it. And also, Derek Carr has had 1,817 passing yards in his first 2 games this season, the most in any 2-game span in Raiders history. So those are good. Those are positive things. Coming out of just the very beginning of this season. So I'm with it, bro. I just wanted to share that.
I'm with it, and I really hope Jon Gruden let him be the gunslinger that he is in the first 2 weeks. I don't take that away from him, Gruden. Please don't take that away from him. But shout out to Captain Jack Rackham. If y'all have not subscribed to Captain Jack, him and the Chronicles of the Black Hole, if you want to talk about old school Raiders football, these are the guys that do it. Captain Jack Rackham and Chronicles of the Black Hole, they are the OGs when it comes to Raider Nation fans. So if you want to learn about your history on the Las Vegas Raiders, when it was in Oakland, when it was in Los Angeles, any of that, subscribe to Captain Jack Rackham and Chronicles of the Black Hole. I'm sorry that I'm trying to go back through the questions. Raider 30 said, do you think the defensive players have an assignment of sticking Hunter Renfrow and get embarrassed by him so bad they got Hunter a little extra because, I think they will have. I think Miami will have an assignment for Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
But that's going to be tough to have an assignment for Hunter Renfrow where you have other receivers that you're going to have to account for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think that this offense is so dynamic. Is because you have players that's finally stepping up, and you can see that Ruggs is getting comfortable and Edwards is getting comfortable because of having a training camp. And now when they went through a full training camp, they went through a full preseason. I just feel like I'm so excited about this, and I just feel like Hunter Renfrow is going to be accounted for in this game. But listen, he's a great route runner. He's a great route runner, and a lot of corners can't keep up with great route runners. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the target to make all those fancy plays. If you can get the job done, and that's what Hunter Renfrow's been doing.
Yep.
That's what Hunter. If y'all have any more questions, just let us know. We got like 3 minutes left before we end the show. Victor Chavez says that I talked about it before the season. Gruden was building a modern day version of the 2002 team. 5K passer, Ganning / Carr, 21K and wide receivers Waller and Ruggs, 1K rusher Gardner and Jacobs. Number 1 offense in the league. Interesting. I'm telling you, if the Raiders make it to the Super Bowl this year, oh my God.
Don't even talk about that, bro.
I don't want to talk about it, but it just bring it back. You brought back memories with the 2002 Super Bowl. Like,
it's
you
true.
Brought it back. Like, oh.
Man.
That's some good stats right there, though. That is some great stats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Ben Malik, he says, how many yards, run yards can we expect? You want to take this one?
Or this next game?
Huh?
How many run yards can we expect this season, or just the next game?
Right. That's the question. Do you want? So, Ben Malik, if you want to put in there, do you want it for this game, or do you want it for the rest of the season? And before that, we'll go. Oh, I don't know about this. Tampa Bay versus LV in a Super Bowl rematch. No, I don't want that. Not with Tom Brady.
That'd be a hell of a story, though.
It will be a hell of a story. But you know what, though? If we can do what we can do, if we could beat him in the Super Bowl, I think he'll ride to the sunset. I'll think he retire. If we get to Super Bowl and beat him,
Probably. That hurt his ego.
I gotta have that roster spot for Incognito. Unfortunately, I love Rich, but we need an extra healthy old lineman. Just saying. You have a point there, man. Richie Incognito been hurt since last year, man. I mean, it was good that we released him and brought him back, but I thought we was bringing him back with a Rodney Hudson and a Gabe Jackson. That's what I thought we were at the time. So,
yeah. I mean, maybe
I
that
agree.
might be a possibility of why they're trying to open up some cap space and do what they're doing is maybe they want to bring in try to find another offensive lineman, and release Incognito. I mean, who knows?
Do you see Gus building the 83 defense? I can see him building a great defense. I wouldn't say 83 defense, but I can see him building something similar to it. Because you got to think about the NFL changes over the decades. They change over the years. The 83 defense, you can body slam and forearm and do all types of stuff, slam people like in a suplex city. You can't do that now. So I say mentality-wise, yes, but physically, no. Rich and Chris, this is my first time here, so make sure you welcome me. I thought you were saying like Roman Reigns, someone acknowledge me, like the Roman Reigns thing. But thanks for coming in. Hope you subscribe to both our channels, and thank you for being in here. He said next game, but both when it comes to the what do you expect from the run?
Oh, sorry. What? Next game, but both?
Next game, but both.
So right now we are ranked 30th in rushing. It's not good. It's not good right now. So with Josh Jacobs, it sounds like he's probably going to be out for another game. Without Josh Jacobs being there, I'm not gonna rely a whole lot on the run game. I say probably about. I put us around 50 to 75-ish yards, maybe.
But do you think it has something to do with that offensive line not opening up holes either? Why our run game is like so bad? But we got a young offensive line, no Incognito on that side. We still have Colton Miller, but do you feel like they can open up the holes?
Well, no, that's why I want to bring in. I want them to bring in Ragus because Jon Gruden needs a bruising back. Jon Gruden needs the guy like Josh Jacobs who's just going to go downhill, put his head down, and just, run through the holes and stuff like that. So I just don't think that Jon Gruden's play calling when it comes to having your number one running back being a pass catching back, I just don't think it works for him. So, either they have to change it up and Taylor make this run game for a pass catching back like Kenyon Drake, or we're just gonna suffer or bring up Ragus and put Ragus in, for Josh Jacobs, not necessarily as the starter, as the number one, but in place of when you need a downhill runner like that.
And that's been the issue because we brought him up for 2 weeks to be on a 53-man roster, and we have not seen him play it down. So that sucks. But I do like the way Peyton Barber, when he did get an opening, I did like with Peyton Barber, with how he was running the ball. I just feel like we went away from it because we struggled all game with it. But when it came down to the crucial moments for us to get into field position and run the clock out, Peyton Barber has some good runs. So I would love to see a little bit of Drake, Barber, and Ragus.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that, and I know that's why they brought in Peyton Barber. But like you said, we haven't seen it happen, and those runs, that he had in the last game, a lot of that was in garbage time. There wasn't a lot riding on the game, so I don't know. Hopefully that'll change. According to Jon Gruden, there was supposed to be, a lot more from Peyton Barber, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of Peyton Barber because that was his first game playing as a Raider. He didn't play in Monday night, so that was interesting. So Savage Boy Kev on Facebook says, since the Broncos and the Raiders are 2-0, can we take a second and talk about some Chiefs slander? LOL.
Can always
number one,
Chiefs slander.
I mean, their defense is trash. I can say that. I think offensively, if we play up to our potential when we play them in week 10, and this defense is still not coming together, I think we could beat the Chiefs in week 10. I think the Chiefs are a very beatable football team, and there's no way that Lamar Jackson throws 2 picks and still wins the game. He throws 2 picks and still wins the game.
Yep.
And the Broncos, I don't care about the Broncos being 2-0 because they played a bunch of nobodies in the first 2 games. They played the Giants, they played the Jaguars, and now they playing the Jets. If with that schedule, the Raiders would be 3-0 right now. For real, I would predict that more than anything. The Jets is garbage, Giants garbage, Jaguars garbage. That's why that defense looks so good in Denver, because they didn't play a high power offense until it's time to play us.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Do we have anything else? Not that I know of. You see, Mario Niguez says, "I much respect for this show. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and subscribe to My City, My Game." He did put the link in the chat, so make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to him. We do have 124 people in the chat. Actually 114 to be exact. We got 4 people on the Spotlight Raiders Talk Facebook. So for people that's on the Facebook, make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Good question right here from Income Stock Investing. Who plays for Levitt this week? Tyrese Gillespie. I say yes. I say give that man a shot. Give that man a shot. You got him in what round did you get Gillespie? 3rd or no, 4th, 5th round? One of those around the same times that you got Hobbs. Why not? Levin's going to be out. I say put Gillespie there. He's a tackling machine too, and he could cover. What you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, I think they give him a shot this week. There hasn't been any official announcements or anything like that, but I say give him a shot.
Shout out to B-Town Breakdown, my boy from Bobby from B-Town Breakdown. He covered all Boston sports, but he says, "Sup, fellas, y'all keep it going. Go 3-0. Let's see." Even though that he's a Patriots fan, and I know how he feels. I know he's going to put the middle fingers in the chat as always. He's going to be like, "Oh, either way, I show some love. F the Raiders or F the Sixers," because he's a Boston Celtics fan too. So shout out to B-Town Breakdown for coming on. Really do appreciate you, bro. Darian, is Gruden a good coach? Oh, wow. Come on, Anthony. You really just put me on a spot, bro. You really just put me on a spot. I think he's a good coach. But just like Douglie Durong said, he gets too much and he gets into his head a bit too much and try to do too much. Just keep the game simple. Don't try to confuse anybody. None of that. I feel like Gruden he's a good coach. I support Gruden, but he makes some bonehead decisions. You got to have a good coach that got to be criticized on what they do wrong. All coaches in the NFL ain't perfect. I'm gonna get on Jon Gruden the way I could if that was Andy Reid. If it was Brian Flores, if those coaches was on the Raiders, even Sean Payton. If Sean Payton was the Raiders head coach and he did some bonehead stuff, I'm getting on his ass too. So yeah, I think he's a good coach, but he just need to get his head out of his ass when it comes to certain situations and certain moments in the game. That's it.
Yep.
Amik Robinson could get some too. Get some playing time. Oh, speaking of that, I don't know if anybody saw my Twitter lately, but I had a tweet a couple days ago when I did a live about Damon Arnett. So let me go to that poll that I put out a couple days ago. And I said, should Amik Robinson get more playing time than Damon Arnett with a poll? with 25 votes, 80% of the people said Amik should get more playing time than Damon Arnett. So shout out to y'all that a big fan of Damon Arnett. I think he shouldn't get more playing time than Amik Robinson. That's just my opinion. Shout out to Rich and Chris. Says $5 super chat. Says Stephen A ranked the Raiders top 5 on his list. The only reason why he did that is because they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and that's his team. That's what he said. I love it, but the other day he talked about how I'm not sold on the Raiders yet, but you got them in your top 5. So you must be sold now because we beat your Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever with that one. But thank you for the $5 super chat. And another $5 super chat from him. He says, I got 5 on it. BTL Breakdown did have a question. He says, Jay, what is the Raiders' biggest weakness? Now he put you on the spot.
The biggest weakness. I would have to say I think the Raiders' biggest weakness right now is 2-part: the run game and the pass coverage. Pass coverage on defense has not been horrible, but if I'm looking at the whole defense, that's really where they have got to really start to bolster that a little bit and improve that a little bit. And then on offense is definitely the run game. And that has some to do with the offensive line. So please do not get me wrong when I say I'm not saying Josh Jacobs is one of my favorite players. He is not a bad running back. Obviously, he's been out. We've got some great guys in God, why is it not
Ready for it.
Our second running back, what is his name?
Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake, thank you.
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, so I think that he's a great running back. I'm not saying our running back group is not good, but the combination of them not finding the holes and not doing what needs to be done, and also the offensive line in the run blocking is just really a weakness right now. So we've got to be able to get the run, improve the run, and improve our pass coverage in our defensive backs. Those are the two things I think are the biggest weakness.
So there you have it, guys. We answer all your questions for you. It's getting late over here. I got to get up in the morning and get some things done. But we want to thank everybody for coming in. Everybody saying the offensive line.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. It is. Offensive line is.
Oh, yeah.
We shift them players around. That's definitely we got to get the run blocking better. Pass blocking has been pretty good besides the one thing what happened with Derek Carr, but that happened after the play. Oh my God. I don't know why I get these weirdos in here. Block the user.
Yeah, I know. It's so stupid.
I don't know why. So whoever's the moderator in there, make sure y'all keep blocking that person. But we thank y'all so much for coming on. Jay, let them know where they can find you at, brother.
Well, see, my YouTube, My City, My Game. So type in My City, My Game, Raider J77, or you can just go to YouTube /C/My City, My Game, and it'll take you directly to my YouTube channel. And then on Twitter, it's Raider _J77, My City, My Game on Facebook. Yeah, so those are the places you can find me.
And Richard Grant says, even though he don't like Stephen A. Smith, is something about wanting to hear what he has to say. And I want the Raiders to shut him up. Surely did.
Yep.
Surely did. So we thank y'all so much for coming in. Thank the Douglie Do Wrong for coming on to the show. It was really fun having him. And, we're going to keep this up every Wednesday. Times might be different due to, the person's scheduling. But we're going to try to keep these up every single week, y'all, for y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're heading out, y'all, and we're going to leave y'all with a few things here. Peace, love, and blessings. And you never know. You might get a live stream from me tomorrow. You might get a live stream Friday. So comment, like, and subscribe to both channels. Is My City, My Game, and Spotlight Raiders Talk. See you in the next live stream. or in the next video. We out, y'all.
Welcome to the My City, My Game pod show featuring Raider J77, your place for all things Raiders and all things Trailblazers. Brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's go.
Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that O-line. Car insurance cost the arm and a leg. You're rich, they